Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a TBR video. I almost never do TBR videos and I don't think I've done a single one this year, maybe, because I haven't really been doing like readathons or read-alongs or anything along those lines because, 2020, who knows what's going to be going on in my brain. And so I've just been like picking up whatever like fits my mood, but it's almost November and I really like when I can participate in Nonfiction November. Reading more nonfiction is definitely something that I'm always working on, and so Nonfiction November is just like a great excuse to pick up more nonfiction. So if you haven't heard of Nonfiction November before, it's a thing that Olive from a book Olive, as well as a couple of other people, basically started doing maybe like 5-6 years ago, and they are basically just encouraging people to pick up more nonfiction than you normally would over the course of November. So if you don't pick up any nonfiction, usually the goal is to pick up at least one. If you maybe pick up one or two, like me, maybe pick up more than that, etc. They also do like word prompts, so it's just like single words. You can interpret it however you like. You don't have to use them though. But for me, I do like fitting those types of prompts if possible, but I was also like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find books that I want to read that fit those prompts. Just for whatever reason, I just didn't think I could do it. And so I was like, I'm just going to go to my physical TBR that I have, that I've basically been ignoring all summer because I've just been reading library books, and pick out which books, or figure out which books I have that are nonfiction. And then I realized I had 4 books. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll work on reading one of these per week because that'll be like more than I usually do. Usually I like maybe pick up one a month. So I feel like one a week is like a good goal to strive for. And then I was like looking at the word prompts again, and I realized all of these books could technically fall into those 4 word prompts as well. So I was like, oh, I might as well at this point make a TBR video, because even though I may not necessarily read all these books, I feel like it might be good inspiration for other people. So I'm not necessarily going to read these books in this order, but I will just go through the 4 prompts and then talk about the book that kind of fits with it. So first up is Time, and for that I have The Five by Hallie Rubenhold, and I'm saying time for this one because you are technically going back in time. This is about the 5 women who were killed by Jack the Ripper and kind of their story about it. I don't think I really need to say too much about this book because I feel like a lot of people have read this book and a lot of people have really enjoyed this book. I think it was part of the BookTube prize as well. So yeah, I already had this one kind of on my radar as a book to pick up, and then like everyone just kept raving about it, and at some point, I think it was earlier this year, I just like bit the bullet and bought a copy of it. So yeah, The Five by Hallie Rubenhold is definitely a book that I am excited to read. Next up is Movement, and for this one I have Spirit Run by Noe Alvarez, and the subtitle to this is A 6,000-Mile Marathon Through North America's Stolen Lands. So this is a memoir, and you are following Noel Alvarez as he tells a story about his life. He is the son of Mexican immigrants, I believe, and when he's about like 19 years old, he finds about this group of Native American people who run these like crazy long marathons, also while like kind of discovering the history behind the stolen lands. And so I believe that this follows a run that he does from Canada all the way down to Guatemala. I don't know too much more than that, and I don't generally like to know too much about a book going into it, but yeah, I was like, oh, Spirit Run, Movement, 100% makes sense. All right, next up is Buzz, and for me, I have Minor Feelings by Cathy Park Hong. This is what I think is a collection of essays, and this book was getting all sorts of buzz at the beginning of the year when it came out. I think it came out like March, February-ish. So from what I've heard about it, this is a collection of essays sort of exploring what Cathy Park Hong has experienced being Asian American in the United States. I believe she's of Korean descent, and she talks about sort of like the minor feelings, feeling like lesser than here in the United States, but also I think she describes sort of the way Asian Americans are positioned compared to other races, specifically like Black people, who are treated significantly worse oftentimes, and kind of like reckoning with sort of like being treated as lesser but also not being treated the worst, I think. Again, haven't read this book. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick this one up. I am one of those people who bought it pretty early on, just because it like really, really piqued my interest, and I've heard really good things about it. So yeah, I'm excited to pick this one up. And then the final prompt is Discovery, and for that one I have Scandinavian Noir by Wendy Lesser, and the subtitle to this is In Pursuit of a Mystery. And so this book, from what I know about it, follows Wendy Lesser as she realizes that the only thing she knows about like Scandinavian like countries basically comes from like mystery books that are written and set in those areas. Like, if you aren't aware, like Scandinavian noir and Scandinavian mysteries are like really big and really popular, and a lot of them have gotten like translated into English. And so that's basically been her like only exposure to those countries and culture. And so I believe that this book is kind of a combination of talking about that history of like Scandinavian mystery books, and then eventually Wendy Lesser actually travels to Europe to visit some of these countries and to discover like what exactly is actually happening in these countries and how that compares to what's portrayed in these mystery books. So yeah, I feel like this is a perfect fit for discovery. So that's it. Those are the only books I have officially on my like Nonfiction November TBR. There are a couple of other books that I have like my eye on, and I'm hoping to get from the library maybe over the course of November. So like, if these don't work out, I can still like shoot for one a week, but I don't have those here. But you can, see me talk about them if I end up reading them over while I do my like Friday reads as usual. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you are participating in Nonfiction November, and if you have like a TBR video or anything like that, feel free to leave that down in the comments as well. Or if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned here, feel free to leave comments about them down below, letting me know if maybe I'm like super off in terms of what I think I'm going to be getting out of these books. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.